Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after many Americans are unaware that behind.
Oh, wow. Guys, in real time, we are experiencing the updating and the emergence of the new financial rails. Holy shit. What a time to be alive. Seriously, what a time to be alive. The archaic systems are going to be no longer. ACH, that'll be a thing of the past. Be like when we talk about VCRs, man. It is about time. It's about time. We are in the right place at the right time, guys. Very exciting things happening right now in the crypto space. Some big announcements. New capital inflows are coming. I'm going to talk about all that. And DeepIn showing signs of life. Oh, can you believe it? Have you guys looked at the price of DIMO today? What is happening? What is happening? Man, what a time. What a time to be alive. Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday. We had a great space earlier this morning, the DeepIn Connected space that we have every Tuesday. We had Flux on. They give us some really interesting insight on what's happening on Capitol Hill right now. Daniel Keller, the CEO, has had a lot of discussion with policymakers, and he gave us some good insight into what the regulatory environment is going to look like, in particularly with the market structure bill, or the Clarity Act, how that could impact DeepIn and Flux in particular. But some very exciting things there we'll cover. Oh, man. But let's start off with a couple of fun news stories like we like to do. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. How about this? For you NFL fans out there, if you're hoping not to see Taylor Swift anymore, well, it looks like you're going to continue seeing her because they got engaged. How about that? If you bet on this, by the way, there's only like a 24% chance yesterday. So you quadrupled up your money if you happen to put money on that. I don't know many people that would have. How about this? Remember the Yeezy coin that came out? Well, Kanye is claiming that his account was hacked. What do you guys think? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know who doesn't believe it either is Polymarket. 2% chance that he was actually hacked. We've seen this time and time again. There were some rumors, though, that Kanye did sell his X account a while back, so that might be the case. But nobody's buying it. $1.3 million on the 2% chance. Wow. Not sure how they'd even prove that, to be honest. But you know who is buying Polymarket? Well, Donald Trump Jr. has invested double-digit millions into crypto prediction platform Polymarket. What about that? They continue to put money into the crypto industry, man. And Polymarket, I use it a lot because it's incredibly accurate. I think we looked at it before. Predictions 30 days out, it's over 90% accurate, which is pretty wild when you think about it. In other macro news, and then the rest of the day, the rest of the show is going to be on crypto, guys. There's so much going on in the crypto space right now. The Fed Governor Cook, who they're going after for mortgage fraud. I guess Trump apparently signed an executive order firing her. But the Fed, Governor Cook's lawyer said they plan to take whatever actions are needed to prevent Trump's illegal action. So they're saying that this is not legal for him to do this. Oh, so we'll see how that plays out. But very interesting times indeed. Very interesting times. But let's get back to the crypto stuff, guys. Let's get back to the crypto stuff. By the way, the other macro thing, and I won't be on tomorrow. I'll be traveling, be flying down to Dallas. NVIDIA earnings, Q2 earnings tomorrow. Could cause some volatility in markets, either direction. We don't know exactly what to expect there, but that'll be the story of tomorrow. You'll see it probably all over the X timelines. All right, let's get back to this story, though. This is Lutnick talking about what we opened up with here as far as moving our financial rails over to blockchain, but in particular, government data. And this is what he talks about here.
The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it. Two more things.
How about that? Government data on chain. Let's get our freaking elections on chain, right? Because let's be real, the last two elections, we had election deniers on both sides. 4 years ago is, Republicans thought the election was messed with. This time around, now you have the Democrats saying the election was messed with, saying that like Elon hacked voting machines, whatever. Dude, that's like a perfect use case for blockchain technology. Like, we need to get that moved over. Then no one can, complain about the outcome of the elections. With some other news, crypto.com. What chain for GDP? That's a good question, Suburban. I don't know if they said. AVAX would be a good choice, says Tyler. That's a good question. I don't know. Avalanche would be interesting. Ethereum, Solana, could be any of them. I think all of them, guys, we are like right now are on the verge of like major mass adoption. And I was thinking, you know what? I'll come back to the story. I was thinking about this last night. I was talking to Suburban about this earlier. Actually, we were talking on the phone. I was at dinner. I was at dinner last night in Chicago, downtown, and I was just looking around. I'm thinking, none of these people know what's happening right now. Like, I guarantee that the vast majority of the people you pass on the street every day have no idea the shift that's taking place. Like, think about the amount of blockchain adoption that's about to happen. Think about the AI movement and the intersection of both of those. Like, we are on the verge of something massive, and I think these investments, like, we're on the cutting edge right now, and I just don't think a lot of people understand what's happening right now, which is exciting for us. What kind of dinner? Well, Tyler, wouldn't you like to know? I got a burger. It was pretty damn good. All right, let's get back to this story. Trump Media and crypto.com built a $6.4 billion Crow Treasury firm. Suburban, I know he's a big crypto.com guy. Maybe has a little bit invested there, maybe just a little bit. I said, did you read the SEC filing for the Trump Media CRO news or listen to the AMA earlier today? No, I did not listen to the AMA. I read this article, but I have, we had the space earlier today. My morning has been stacked up, man. So I have not had a chance to listen to it, but I did read this article and went on to say that as part of this agreement, Trump Media will buy about $105 million worth of CRO token, roughly 2% of the token's total market cap, while crypto.com will buy $50 million in Trump Media stock. Let's see if I have it. Yep. The venture will be called Trump Media Group CRO Strategy Inc. Plans to merge with Yorkville Acquisition Corp. It will trade under the ticker MCGA, will transform Make Crow great again. Oh, that's great. It says the company will be the world's largest holder of the Crow token, the crypto.com token, with around 6.3 billion tokens, valued at roughly $1 billion at the time of the announcement. Well, I think it's safe to say that the CRO token is having quite a day. Up 31.92%. How about that? Suburban says it's the largest digital reserve so far. Guys, the reserves, they're coming. They're coming. It's going to bring in billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. But seriously, look at the market cap here, 6.96 billion CRO token. That's I think that's after this news, we could probably expect some bright times ahead for crypto.com. What about DIMO? Oh, we're going to talk about DIMO, baby. We are going to talk about DIMO. Guys, the price action there, we are seeing signs of life. Signs of life, unlike what we've seen in quite a while. So very exciting stuff. Oh, wait, let me go back. I did highlight something else from this article. It said that several companies are also buying altcoins. Talking about these treasury companies with billions of dollars being spent acquiring tokens like Solana and Ethereum. Well, let's look at Solana. He said no conflict of interest there. Yeah, of course. Don't you know? Politicians, there is no conflict of interest, guys. We got Trump making money. We got Pelosi making fucking hundreds of millions of dollars and making $200,000 a year. Come on. All these politicians, there's no conflict of interest there. $195 on Solana. Holding pretty well, honestly. But guys, pay attention to the fundamentals. We've got another $250 million minted on Solana, USDC. Of course, the stable coin. We have another $275 million bridged to Solana in the past week, $150 million of that from Ethereum alone. As the money is coming to Solana. You look at Jupiter. It's a Solana-only DEX. Look at the volume, guys. And these other ones, like 1inch, has multiple chains. All these other has multiple chains. The Solana-only DEX, Jupiter, is above and beyond every other DEX. Follow the money. And then you look at this. This guy's been sharing so much alpha on Solana. 67% of the Solana's SOL is staked. The digital asset treasury strategy. So you're going to see this. People are going to talk about DATs. Okay, that's what everyone's talking about. The digital asset treasury strategies. Increasing accumulation at 500% over the last quarter, 1% of the total supply. And it says 8 Solana ETFs are loading up, guys. These are the two catalysts we keep talking about. Spot ETFs. And you said, why am I not looking at SOL? I thought it was 160. No, bro. We've been talking about it. Solana has been pumping, but we are just getting started, in my opinion. You've got the market structure bill. I'm going to talk more about that. It came up in the space today with Flux. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Daniel Keller, the CEO, told us. You've got the market structure bill going to be passed this year. You got the spot ETFs. And if we look at the Solana ETF tracker, guys, like, look at all these. Look at all these spot ETFs that are waiting to get approved. Right now, they've been pushed back into mid-October. Will we see them pass then, or is the SEC waiting for the market structure bill to pass? Because that right now, it's looking like we could see the market structure bill passed as soon as October. Cynthia Lummis last week said it might be closer to Thanksgiving. I think the SEC may be waiting. But look at all these ETF applications for Solana alone. Okay. Think about the capital that's going to flow in. Look at what we've seen with Ethereum. Look at what we've seen with Bitcoin. Solana is the next big move. Okay. And we're seeing people front run this shit, man. It's happening. Someone said, can you drop a link for the mobile hotspot? Yeah, I can do that, man. And then today, talking about the treasuries. Solana co-founder came out and said that the Solana digital asset treasuries, the DATs, will be monstrous and first principles tuned to what makes Solana great. It only takes one epic corner for the race to change leads. And he is talking, of course, about Solana being the major rotation. First, it was Ethereum. We're seeing Solana, guys. Solana is the next move, in my opinion. And just how much money is going to be
billions and 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 billions.
Well, you guys get the point. Billions and billions and billions and billions. And here are the Solana treasuries. Okay, we have UpXC, of course, the number one. Added to my position yesterday. It is up today. Bob was talking about how UpXC needs to make some moves and catch up. Well, asking you shall receive, sir. DeFi Development Corp, I added to my position there today on the dip. I've been adding to these two on the dips, man. I just call me crazy, but I think these top two treasuries, and they might not stay the top two treasuries. There are some other ones that are have been announced that are going to be adding a ton of Solana. They're raising billions of dollars, billions and billions and billions. And UpXC, of course, has Arthur Hayes, their talking head. I like that because you look at what Tom Lee has done for Bitmine. That shit done a 15x since June, guys. What could we see here? That is the question. I continue to buy the dips, okay? Speaking of UpXC, they came out with this filing earlier today. They're raising another $152 million to buy more Solana. And I would say that the stock liked it at up 7.76% today, now up to $8.19. Guys, this was just down. I told you I bought the dip yesterday. Where we're at, we I think I bought at 7:15 is when I put my buy orders in, I believe. And just last week, it got down to the sixes, man. We are already seeing this thing bounce, but guys, I think there's brighter times ahead. I really do. You look at DeFi Development Corp, the second largest one. They have another announcement today. They partnered with Global Dollar, expanding access to USDG stablecoin on Solana to boost its availability and utility. This one, so I bought more UpXC yesterday, but that's been surging. But today I bought DeFi Development Corp on the dip. Say again at like 15, like 35, but up to 16. See, look at this. Look at that. I love it. These guys, to me, these are the next alpha, the next treasury play is going to be Solana. Been talking about a lot recently. I'm adding and adding and adding whenever we have big dips. But it's not just Solana. I think Ethereum has more room to run, guys. Let's take a look at what happened with this Satoshi Arrow whale. Sold another 1,000. We're seeing a lot of this now. This is the second big whale from some OG Bitcoin holders selling Bitcoin to buy Ethereum and seeing the rotation. $432 million long on Ethereum. Very interesting stuff there. And guess what Tom Lee had to say? He made a new prediction.
It's for end of year for Ethereum and the S&P 500 and your logic for those two.
Yeah, I think Ethereum, in the near term, 5,500 should be happening in the next couple of weeks. But by the end of the year, I think it should be closer to 10 to 12,000 for ETH. But it's because, most of the move in crypto does come in the fourth quarter. So if you're up 35% year to date, well, if you're going to be up 200%, it's going to all happen in the next few months. And for the S&P, if the Fed follows through and begins to cut, which is our expectation, and then we get a drop in mortgage rates and the ISM turning up, and therefore financials really begin to participate, I think that's why we get to 6,800 or so on the S&P. So still a lot of upside. Of course, as you know, September is the month everyone's going to be worried about. So that's a month where you might get a pullback, but you need to be buying debt too.
So the seasonal weakness in September, you would say, would just be another opportunity.
Yes, that's right. And as you know, every pullback, everyone has been ringing the bell saying it's the top. That has always been a dip buying opportunity since 2022. So I just say keep that in mind that you really should be buying.
There you go, guys. So he is talking about over $10,000 by the end of the year on ETH. I don't think it's that outlandish. But he does mention something, and this is what we've been talking about a lot, is the potential for a September pullback, particularly, the chance of a pullback, buy the rumor, sell the news event around, the actual cutting of rates potentially. You also have that annual revision on the jobs that's going to be coming, I believe, on September 9th. And that's expected to be a pretty big number, between 500,000 and 900,000 jobs revised downward on the year. Could that put some fear in the markets? Potentially. Could we see a sell-off around the FOMC, actually the FOMC meeting where they actually do cut rates? Potentially. But Q4 is shaping up to be pretty bullish when you look at the catalysts that are coming together. I mean, we saw it last year. I think we could see history repeat itself again. I don't think we're guaranteed a pullback in September, but I think there is definitely a chance that we do see it. But where's Ethereum today? 45.87. I mean, Tom Lee just said in the next week or two, he expects it to get to 5,500. That would be pretty remarkable stuff. Can we see it? Will we see it? I think we might. And when you look at, I'm gonna pull this up because I covered these guys, some of the Ethereum-based NFT collections. It's not long ago I covered CryptoPunk V1s as a potential sleeper option. It was at 2.3 per ETH per NFT. The floor is now 4.2. Not too shabby, guys. The other one I showed you all was the Crypto Titties. Where is that at? Let's get a gauge on this. Floor price is 6.9 ETH. So we are certainly seeing some of these NFT collections move upward on Ethereum as well. Not to mention the price of Ethereum has risen also. But it's not just Ethereum. What else have we been talking about a lot? Well, Chainlink. Chainlink has been making big partnership announcements, and they, Bitwise, just filed for a ETF for Link. Will we see Link Treasury companies? Probably. Would not at all surprise me. And Chainlink on the news, well, hasn't really moved. Still sitting at 24.37. Guys, Chainlink has been making huge moves. And these are the things we got to keep an eye on because, what are the treasury plays here? Is Link going to have a treasury play? Probably. AVAX is going to, for sure. XRP, for sure. Solana is where I'm looking right now, but where's the next rotation after that, right? That's the question. That's where we need to be looking. And those are the three I'm looking at, and also Doge. But then this is kind of ridiculous, but someone filed for a spot Trump Solana meme coin ETF. I'm probably not going to touch that. But it is on Solana. There's that. But what about altcoin season index? Well, guys, we are moving in the right direction. We are moving in the right direction, moving more towards alt season than Bitcoin season. That's not too shabby. Bitcoin dominance also continues to drop. We're at 58%. Hell yeah. You said what? I don't know what that's in reference to, Tyler. The SEC is now our friend. Yeah. What a turn of events. Because, guys, it was not long ago. I brought Ariel on a few months ago on our space, our Tuesday space, and he's like, we turned down any opportunity we had to go speak to politicians because we were worried about getting on their radar because they were going after all the real projects. You said one. What? Are you talking about the CryptoPunk V1s? Is that what you're talking about? No such thing as alt season, only successful project. Well, I think I might have to debate you on that. So I think we're going to see a change, a shift in how we look at alt season. I think that successful projects will pump the hardest. Crypto titties. I'll give you a quick rundown on that and why I like them. Not titties, but crypto titties, the NFTs. Not that I don't like titties too. Anyway, so the alt season. So I think alt season is a thing still. If we see Bitcoin dominance drop and we see inflows into alts. So from that perspective, but I do agree with you. I think we're not going to see like the 2021 alt season where everything just pumps at the same time. I think you're going to see certain sectors, certain narratives pump at different times. And, like you said, more successful projects are going to make moves. Eventually, DePIN will get to the point where it's not going to just be speculative valuations. We're going to see revenue driving token prices. we're seeing a little bit of that, but I think we're going to see more and more of that to the point where finally these projects will actually be self-sufficient, where the revenue will be the determining factor. You get away from having to just deploy a ton of tokens on the front end and have speculative valuations behind that. So we're not there yet, but I think some of the projects will get there. But I do agree to an extent, but I still think, I guess it depends on your definition of alt season. Okay, so Tyler, this is for you, buddy. We're gonna share some crypto titties for you. So crypto titties. I bought a lot. I bought up a lot of these. Okay, in the bear market when they're on like fire sale. So this is like the 17th, I believe, project built on Ethereum. So this is the August 2021 is not actually when they were built. It's like when they're like listed on OpenSea, but they go way back. It was the first charitable NFT launch. And the one thing I really like about it is that there's only 144 in the entire set. Most NFT collections have 10,000. So to me, I'm like, hey, this is like a lottery ticket. 619 said 6 tits. That's a hell of a deal. You get 6 titties on that one. Some of them only have 1. Okay, so I don't know why people. There's 3 in that one. Okay, so like, he said, "Glad this is recorded, so I have to screenshot like a creep." So some of them have more than others. Anyway, there's a solo there. Obviously, no, I'm not making an offer. That one sold for 0.88, probably because there's only 1 titty. Some of these, these are nicer, so 8.5. But no, in all seriousness, if I can be serious talking about this, it's more so the historical. They said square titties. It's more so the historical nature of it, that it's like the 17th NFT collection is a charitable one, and there's only 144 in the set. But guys, like, I mean, look, the floor right now is 6.9 ETH. And I think I bought like 6 of these. So I have 6 of the 144. Do I have them in cold storage? I do. I keep my crypto titties in cold storage. I do indeed. So you're trying to steal my crypto titties, Suburban. Good luck. I got cold storage titties, baby. Anyway, so that's the dealio there. I tried to hunt some of these, like CryptoPunk V1, same thing. Like, guys, these are wild. Like, CryptoPunks, the ones that are like super valuable, and they've been selling, by the way. Those things, the actual CryptoPunks, those weren't the original set. These are the originals. When they were first released, they had a problem with the contract where when someone sold them, it would transfer the NFT, and then the buyer would get their Ethereum back, and it was an exploit in the contract. So 2 weeks later, they released the exact same set again on chain, the same 10,000, identical, and those are the ones that are super valuable. But someone patched the contract, created a wrapper, essentially, so these hit the market a couple of years ago. So they're trading at a fraction of the cost. I brought this up a few months ago because they're trading at like just over 2 ETH. I was like, man, these could be a play. Well, they've doubled in price. I mean, you think about gaining 2 ETH at this point. If you had invested them, you could have made like $8,000 on that. So $9,000. CryptoPunks were, yeah. You know what's crazy about CryptoPunks, guys? People at the beginning, you claimed them for free, right? And let's see what they're going for today. A lot, I'll tell you. So CryptoPunks, the floor on these things is 46.87 ETH, guys. Like, that's insane. It's insane. Let's look at some of that recent activity. And they trade. I mean, a lot of them are trading. This is just in the last 24 hours. Someone bought this for 73 ETH, 96 ETH. Like, you're talking about over $400,000. It's actually insane. So one of the oldest sets, but again, these aren't even the OGs. Like, these came out 2 weeks after, and that is why I think there's an opportunity with these other ones. They'll probably end up having their time to shine. But 4.2, and also a lot of activity. I mean, you're seeing these trade pretty often. 4 in the last 24 hours here. Someone bought this one for 7.5. So 55 ETH here, 200,000. So correct math. Yeah. Over 200,000, $250,000. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But yeah, that's why I brought this up, because it did turn out to be a decent opportunity. But I personally prefer my crypto titties, but that's just me. That's just me. Oh man, but what about insane? Buy a house or a PNG? Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. But what about Deepin? What about Deepin, guys?
Look, it's moving. It's alive. It's alive. It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Guys, we are alive and well, and there is a heartbeat. I mean, guys, DIMO up 111% today. What the hell is going on? What is going on with DIMO? Well, we know they pivoted. Obviously, there's some big buyers that have stepped in. Obviously, the pivot they made, I mean, they did list this thing on Amazon. There's a lot of people buying there. I know they have some negotiations happening over in Japan right now. Somebody's stepping in and buying, and I'm wondering, is it that they have a bunch of new devices, new R1s that they're onboarding, because they would have to buy some DIMO in order to spin the DIMO to onboard those devices? Is that what's happening, or is there a big seller stepping in? There's always the potential when you see this stuff that there's some big partnership that might come out, some announcement that might be coming. But the fact of the matter is, man, we're up at almost 11 cents here. Look at the volume, though. Okay, I think on an average day, they were seeing like $300,000 a day in volume, up over 10,000% today. So what is causing this surge in the volume? I don't know. I'll try to look on chain and figure out if there's like a single buyer that's responsible for this. Like, what is happening right now? But nonetheless, man, these are moves you see in a bull run. But look at this chart. I mean, this is freaking nuts. But it's a beautiful sight to see. There's no doubt about that. Will it continue? I don't know. Whenever we've seen these types of surges in DIMO, it generally drops back down. But this has held up pretty well, man. Pretty well. You say, wasn't there some genius on the Deepin Happy Hour 1.5 weeks ago that loaded up on Mac runs since good for 3 years? I think there was. I don't know. What was his name? Might have been Suburban Crypto. Indeed it was. Suburban's made some good calls, guys. Don't sleep on him. In fact, follow him. Follow him if you don't already. So DIMO is having its time to shine right now, and I hope it continues, guys. I think it is a solid project. Like I said before, I think the token could do quite well if they pivot, in a way that obviously I think they lost some of the community and the subscription stuff. But guys, the people that have stayed on, they're seeing it like 2.5 times the rewards, and there's no doubt they're making moves. In fact, I should have pulled up this video, but Rob was talking about how they could have chosen Solana, but they went base because a lot of the RWA stuff is going to be happening on base, and they want to be able to, work in conjunction with DMVs, because the DMVs are going to start putting all of the records on chain. They're probably going to use base. A lot of these are going to use base, the layer 2 on Ethereum. So I think that they want to be able to work in conjunction with that. Makes sense. They are very, forward-looking. Very forward-looking. Okay. So that's DIMO, guys. And Deepin is alive and well. I mean, look at this. We're seeing some green. I bet DIMO even still up on the hour. Just won't stop. You know what? I think you're right. I think California DMV is using AVAX. I do believe that is correct. 619 said that 2.5 rewards times rewards about $13. I mean, you look at the price tag on the unit now on Amazon. They even had them on sale recently for right now at $99, and that's weekly, guys. So I mean, that's not a bad break even, guys. Not a bad break even at all. And as Suburban said the macaron has 3 years of connectivity built in. If you can get your hands on those, why not? Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Let's talk about Flux though. So we had Flux, we had Daniel Keller, the CEO, on the spacer earlier today. Flux has been around for a long time. I think he said 2016, 2018? I think he said 2018. But that's, in crypto years, that's like 100 years, guys. It's like seriously though. They're doing their part to, bring not only Web3 but Web2 to full decentralization. They're getting into, really back-end decentralization across the board. And one of the things that I think that struck me today was when we were talking about the market structure bill, because this is what's going to determine which projects fall under the SEC, and which ones fall under the CFTC as a commodity. And, one of the questions I asked him is an interesting answer. He basically said, yeah, I think a lot of these deep end projects are going to be forced to move away from the likes of AWS and move to a platform like Flux if they want to avoid falling under the SEC. I thought that was very interesting because Daniel Keller has been to Capitol Hill and he's been working with the legislators on this stuff. So could we see a surge in usage across Web3 and moving to these decentralized protocols? I think we could. And that, to me, is very interesting. So what does that mean for Flux? It could mean a push towards a lot more adoption, guys. And could this be undervalued? Probably. If we look at all-time market cap, where did this thing get to? $598 million market cap. So this got back in 2022. Fundamentals have gotten stronger. We could have, you looking at institutional money, but also looking at the regulatory environment and where that could push capital and push utility. It could force these protocols to use Flux. 621 million. I mean, you do some simple math there. If we get back to all-time highs, not saying we will, but you're talking about almost an 8x from here. So Flux is an interesting project to me. They're very well established. They've been around a while, and I do think the regulatory environment could be a major catalyst for them. I highly encourage you to listen to this space if you haven't already. When 246 people tuned in, that's pretty good. So about an hour, a little bit over an hour long. We had all of our normal speakers on there. Suburban was there. William was there. We had Tyler on there. Talking about DIMO here. He said it was on sale for $70. Wow. Yeah, man. Check out those deals on Amazon for DIMO. I think that makes a lot of sense. What about Hivemapper? What are we seeing there? Hivemapper. Tyler said awesome space. I agree, man. And Tyler had the best question of the whole space. Daniel Keller was like super impressed. So listen to the space, guys. Tyler always has good questions. Mostly on this live stream asking about my crypto titties. That was a great question. All right. So Ariel Seidman, he's talking about how the B kilometers map grew 10% week over week. We are seeing the B get shipped. We are seeing the data collection. That's what we need to see. It's what we need to see. The token on the other end, it's just been kind of like a stable coin sitting around like 0.019 to 2 cents, just like hovering in this range forever. We did see those surge earlier. I have no idea what caused that, but it sold off immediately. So, guys, I do think that Hivemapper is likely to have a rebound if we see DeFin get a lot of traction, but I think there's going to be some selling that's going to have to break through because there are a lot of tokens in circulation. I mean, look at this spike and sell off. We're going to have to exhaust some sellers before we see some meaningful moves. But guys, we saw the same thing with DIMO. DIMO was sitting in this range forever. Look at this shit. Which is just like slow grind down, and then all of a sudden, boom. Yeah, this is valid actually, Suburban. And this came up because I host the AMAs for Hivemapper. This came up with Ario, and he's talking about how they're looking at incorporating T-Mobile or Helium SIMs in the original shipment, because getting the SIM is a pain. Like it's slowing down the deployments when people are taking shipment. They're not getting the bees out fast enough. Damn, look at DIMO move it up again. Let's go. Love it. Guys, this reminds me of like alt season. If you guys remember, you see stuff pump like 100, 200% in a day. It's, seems like such a long time ago, like a distant memory. What a beautiful thing. Let's see that happen to Honey, though. We need to see it happen with Honey. Yeah, 609 says there's a ton of people waiting to sell their Honey. I agree. I mean, we saw the same thing with DIMO, though, man. It broke through. I think it can happen, but we've got to see the environment pick up. Helium teased something today. This was just recently. This is like 2 hours, not even 2 hours ago. Said, you've been waiting. Something big is coming. What do you think it is? What do you think it is, guys? Anybody have an inkling? I don't know. But what's Helium doing? $2.63. Guys, that's kind of criminal. Let's be real. For everything that's going on with Helium right now, I feel like it should be higher. What's going on? Fundamentals are strong. In the bear market, this thing got low. I think like to $1.25 at one point. I don't know. Where are we here? $4. Oh, that's 2020. But it got low. We got really low. There it is. $1.26. What about this news? I know USD.AI, Binance is teaming up with them. So USD.AI is basically they are a yield-bearing synthetic dollar asset backed by loans against AI hardware, compute, and deep in assets. So that's interesting. You get yield on your AI hardware. Binance has announced a new initiative to support this USD.AI. USD.AI has been on a couple of spaces with us. They're legit, man. I mean, imagine being able to get yield on your AI hardware assets and compute. That's freaking crazy. But this is a big deal. So if you guys don't think like the future of decentralized GPUs is going to be like a massive movement, like massive fucking movement, think again. Like seriously. I know I talk about this a lot. That's my probably most bullish sector I am on anything in Deepin right now is the decentralized GPUs. I mean, just look at what Scott Bessent said. He said, we're exploring new possibilities in decentralized computing and digital payments to unlock the potential of blockchain energy. They know. This came up on the space with Flux, actually. Like, they know that, NVIDIA is not going to be able to keep up with the demand, but also just the power, the grid itself. We don't have enough power to keep up with the demand. We're going to have to tap into decentralized compute and tap into compute at the edge from idle GPU resources that are just would be sitting there otherwise. And here's the tweet directly from him, by the way, like the Treasury Secretary talking about decentralized computing. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? We have so many of these decentralized GPU protocols, and to me, the amount of revenue some of them are printing, like, it is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Everyone wants to use Helium Mobile. T-Mobile is the best. T-Mobile is the best plan right now. But maybe they'll work something out with Helium. I don't know. I imagine they have some negotiations there. And I'll tell you what, and this is what I'm going to leave you with, guys, today, is this video from Xbits. This is freaking nuts. So Elon talked about neural implants for vision, and Mark Feidelman, who I had on our space a few weeks ago with Exhibits, one of my favorite projects, had his say on what Elon is talking about here. But think about robotics. Think about all the deep in projects as robotics come up. You've got your GeoNet. You've got Tashi Network. You've got, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Rover. Okay. All these projects are going to be really, really important when it comes to robotics. I want to play this video, and this is again what I'm going to leave you guys with. But this is what's coming, and it's actually pretty nuts, but definitely some.
The next 6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision, where even if somebody's completely blind, we can write directly to the visual cortex. And we've had that working in monkeys, but actually, I think one of our monkeys now has had a visual implant for 3 years and be able to see in multispectral wavelengths. You could see an infrared, ultraviolet, radar, like a superpower situation.
Think about what he's saying, and if anyone can get it done, he can get it done. First, it's sight and hearing, maybe. Then there's going to be implants, and maybe there's Grok on board. If anyone can do it, he's going to do it. But guess what? We almost need to do it to keep pace to what's happening with robotics. And when AI is on robotics, how are we going to compete as humans? Why are we going to be relevant? The only way we're going to be relevant is if we can compete intellectually with them, maybe even physically, especially those that are aging and have lost limbs. It's going to be an interesting world in the next 10 years. You just have to get ready for it. It's going to happen.
It is going to happen, guys. And again, we are on the ground floor. A lot of these projects are going to be intertwined when it comes to robotics, when it comes to AI. This is where I think the massive opportunities are. We're going to look back and thank ourselves for being here, grinding every day, not taking the elevator, taking the stairs. It's a reference from yesterday. Woo! Exciting times, guys. Exciting times. I am going to be traveling tomorrow, so I won't be on tomorrow or Thursday. I fly back to Chicago Friday. I will plan on coming on. It might be a little bit later on Friday. I've been doing kind of Friday evening episodes, so that's likely what we'll be looking at there to catch us up on everything that we miss on Wednesday and Thursday. Keep an eye on those NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. Q2 earnings are coming out. Could shock markets in either direction, depending on what that looks like. So that'll be the big story tomorrow. But there's big stories every day, and there's opportunities every day. With that said, I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantastic day. Peace.